What if I told you a man turned lies into millions, served barely 2 years behind bars, then made Hollywood glorify his crimes? Meet Jordan Belfort, the financial predator who didn't just steal money. He stole dreams and somehow became America's favorite villain. Bayside, Queens wasn't exactly Wall Street. Blue-collar families, modest dreams, and kids who knew their place. But Jordan Belfort, he never learned that lesson. At 16, this kid wasn't flipping burgers or washing cars. He was running a lemon ice empire, clearing $20,000 before his first day of college. Most teenagers would have bought a car. Jordan enrolled in dental school. On orientation day, the dean delivered a harsh truth. Anyone here chasing wealth picked the wrong career. Jordan didn't argue. He simply stood up and walked out. Why clean teeth when you could clean out bank accounts? College behind him, Jordan dove into the meat business. Door-to-door sales, hauling steaks and seafood in his back seat, like some bizarre mobile butcher shop. Picture this: a kid in cheap suits, knocking on doors, convincing housewives to buy frozen meat from a stranger. It sounds ridiculous because it was, but Jordan made it work until it didn't. Bad deliveries, spoiled inventory, angry customers. The business collapsed faster than a house of cards. But in that failure, Jordan discovered his true superpower. He could sell anything to anyone. The product was irrelevant. What mattered was the promise. Wall Street called, and Jordan answered. L.F. Rothschild gave him a taste of real money, real power, and real corruption. This was the 1980s. Cocaine was currency, and greed was gospel. Jordan absorbed it all, like a financial sponge. Then, October 1987 hit like a financial earthquake. Black Monday wiped out fortunes overnight. Jordan got fired, but while others panicked, he spotted opportunity in the wreckage. Penny stocks became his playground. These weren't blue-chip investments. They were financial garbage, unregulated and unloved by serious brokers. But here's the beautiful part. 50% commissions. Same sales skills. 10 times the payout. Jordan picked up the phone and started spinning stories. This tiny company is sitting on revolutionary technology. The big players haven't noticed yet, but when they do, boom, we're talking massive returns. I'm talking beach house money. And people believed him. Why wouldn't they? He sounded so certain, so confident, so absolutely convinced that missing this opportunity would be the biggest mistake of their lives. By 1989, Jordan wasn't working alone. Enter Danny Porish, part salesman, part carnival barker, all trouble. Together they built something unprecedented. Stratton Oak. The name sounded prestigious, like old money and leather-bound tradition. Reality, a strip mall boiler room, filled with misfits, dropouts, and hustlers who could sell ice to Eskimos. Jordan didn't want experience. He wanted hunger. He didn't need education. He needed desperation. The training was psychological warfare disguised as sales coaching. Jordan called it straight-line persuasion, a mental pressure cooker designed to turn stammering rookies into closing machines. Bulldoze hesitation, drowned out, guide prospects from hella to purchase in one unbroken psychological assault. The office became a financial casino where phones never stopped ringing and money never stopped flowing. But Stratton's real genius wasn't how they sold, it was who they targeted. Forgotten investors, working-class retirees, desperate parents scraping together savings. People Wall Street ignored became Stratton's goldmine. They sold hope wrapped in urgency, dreams backed by fictional projections. First came obscure penny stocks with names that sounded important but meant nothing. 10 real IPO. They'd buy massive blocks of cheap shares, turn their sales floor into a hype machine, flood the market with manufactured excitement, spike the price, then dump everything at the peak. Thousands of investors were left holding worthless paper while Stratton counted millions. By the early 90s, Stratton wasn't just a brokerage, it was a financial cult. The office looked like a movie set. Screaming phones, air horns, designer suits, and enough drugs to supply a small festival. Jordan ruled like a corporate king, rewarding top performers with bonuses, vacations, and public praise, while crushing underperformers with humiliation and exile. Then came the party's strippers in conference rooms, Champagne-Fontaine's cocaine lines on compliance manuals. Nothing was sacred when everything was profitable. Jordan's personal empire exploded alongside his firm. Helicopters, yachts named after his wife, mansions, luxury cars, and watches worth more than most people's houses. Through it all, he preached one sermon. Success is everything. Failure is nothing. But underneath the celebration, cracks were forming. By 1994, success became Stratton's biggest problem. They were too visible, too aggressive, too reckless. The SEC started asking uncomfortable questions about stocks that jumped $7, then crashed to 30 cents. Complaints piled up from investors who bought dreams and received nightmares. Internally, some brokers questioned pushing stocks with no revenue, no products, sometimes no working phone numbers. Management's response was brutal. Close deals or find the door. Meanwhile, Jordan's personal life was disintegrating faster than his fraudulent stocks. His marriage crumbled under the weight of addiction and excess. Pills hidden in couch cushions, syringes in bathrooms, crashes with his 3-year-old daughter in the passenger seat. Then came the yacht incident. Jordan, drunk and high, insisted on sailing through a Mediterranean storm against the captain's warnings. The Naomi nearly sank. The Italian Navy rescued them, but something inside Jordan broke permanently. Behind the scenes, FBI agent Gregory Coleman was building an airtight case. He pulled call scripts, subpoenaed wire records, tracked real estate purchases that didn't match reported income. He discovered cash withdrawal patterns, casino visits, art gallery purchases, all classic money laundering signatures. Even worse for Jordan, some of his own brokers had flipped, wearing wires and recording conversations in exchange for reduced sentences. October 1996 brought the inevitable raid. Federal agents stormed Stratton at sunrise, ripping phones from desks, emptying filing cabinets, copying hard drives. Employees tried flushing documents and smuggling briefcases of shredded contracts. Nothing worked. The FBI had everything they needed, but Jordan made one final, fatal mistake. While under investigation and explicitly forbidden from moving money, he wired $2 million to Switzerland. That transaction became the thread that unraveled his entire empire. By 1998, Jordan was cornered, facing 30 years in federal prison for wire fraud, securities fraud, and money laundering. He did what he always did. He sold. This time, he sold information. He cooperated, wore wires, and systematically betrayed everyone who'd followed his lead. Over 30 employees were indicted. Some served longer sentences than Jordan's 22 months in minimum security. Basically, a country club with bars. Inside that cushy prison, Jordan met Tommy Chong, who suggested he write his story. So Jordan did, but not as a confession, as entertainment. The Wolf of Wall Street read like a victory lap, not an apology. No remorse, no real accountability, just yachts, drugs, fraud, and punchlines. The public devoured it. Hollywood turned it into a blockbuster. Martin Scorsese and Leonardo DiCaprio transformed a financial predator into a pop culture icon. But what about the victims? The teacher who lost her retirement, the veteran who invested his life savings, the family who mortgaged their home for Jordan's lies. They didn't get movie deals or book contracts. Most never recovered their money. The court ordered Jordan to pay $110 million in restitution. Today, only a fraction has been paid. The rest disappeared into offshore accounts and legal loopholes. Jordan now tours the world as a motivational speaker, selling success and teaching ethics. The ultimate irony: he wears the wolf label like a badge of honor instead of shame. He didn't just escape justice, he monetized it, turning 22 months into global fame and fortune. Here's the disturbing truth. Maybe Jordan succeeded because we never really wanted him punished. Deep down, part of us wanted to be him. In a world obsessed with wealth and success, he became proof that rules don't apply to everyone. The question is why Jordan Belfort got away with it. It's why we let him become a hero. Thank you for watching Limitless. Help the channel, subscribe, and leave your like.